Republican vice presidential nominee, Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Governor, 72 times. What were you thinking?
Hey, Sean. Good to be with you from here in Pennsylvania. We just started our bus tour, and it's great to have a few minutes with you. Look, I was honored to be there. And I know some people say that we might have won the debate. I leave that to you and to others. I think Donald Trump won the debate.
Okay, but
well, I think Donald Trump won the debate. I think Donald Trump's vision to make America great again won the debate. And I said that today at a rally in Virginia and tonight here in Pennsylvania. And I really think that vision for a stronger America at home and abroad, if we did any good last night, it was that we were able to communicate that vision and the clear choice the American people face. And I was frankly humbled and honored to be able to be there on his behalf.
All right, both on Twitter and in speeches earlier today, Donald Trump was praising your performance. But yeah, you still have liberal media outlets that saying, oh, there's Donald Trump's angry or so on and so forth. I don't believe the media, but I want to ask you, is there any truth to those reports? And did you talk to Donald Trump after the debate?
I talked to him a couple times after the debate, and he just he couldn't have been more enthusiastic and more encouraging about congratulating me. And again, I have to tell you, I'm just so honored to stand with Donald Trump in this campaign. He has given voice to the aspirations and the frustrations of the American people like no American leader since Ronald Reagan, and to be able to be there, to be on that stage, and with my family all present and so many friends remembering us in their prayers, to be able to make that case was it was just a great privilege for me. He was excited about it. I was humbled by his encouragement, and we just got our head down here on the bus trail. I know he's out west and drew another big crowd today. We're just going to put our head down and keep working to drive that message about his vision to make America great again, and really the failed policies of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama that have weakened America's place in the world, stifled America's economy, and they promise more of the same. We're going to make sure all of that is clear to the American people in the next 33 days.
All right, so after two debates, it's very clear what the Clinton-Kaine strategy is. They want to dump the kitchen sink on Donald Trump and what Donald Trump said 20 years ago, what Donald Trump said here and there and everywhere. The one thing that I think came out loud and clear last night is you weren't having any part of that. You were talking about substantive issues. And that means I don't think Hillary and Kaine can talk about the last 8 years with the economy when you have, we've doubled the debt. We have the lowest labor participation rate, worst recovery since the 40s, 12 million more Americans in poverty, 8 million more on food stamps. How can they possibly defend that? Because they want to double down on that. And as you pointed out repeatedly, want to raise taxes, increase spending. So that's off the table, right? They can't talk about the economy. So that's why they're talking about Trump?
Well, look, and don't leave out foreign policy. I mean, Hillary Clinton is the architect of the foreign policy of the Obama administration. I mean, literally, she travels the world, and Americans are less safe today than the day that Barack Obama became president of the United States. The world is more unstable today. And to your point, our economy is struggling. Their answer is more of the same weak and feckless foreign policy that leads from behind, and more taxes, more regulation, more of the war on coal, more of Obamacare. And to be able to be on that stage and lay out that contrast to the best of my ability last night, but also lay out Donald Trump's vision for a strong, broad-shouldered American leadership on the world stage, rebuilding our military, cutting taxes, repealing Obamacare, having smarter and tougher trade deals. It was just very encouraging to me. And to your point, I have to tell you, to hear Senator Kaine kind of go through their litany
they're robotic
of insults.
It's robotic. It's like
turn to me and
I will repeat what they told me to say. They will repeat it again. That's what I felt like I was watching.
And then he said, and here's the insult-driven campaign. I thought that must have been focus group somewhere. I thought the insult-driven campaign. Hillary Clinton said half of Donald Trump's supporters were a basket of deplorables. We're irredeemable. We're not America. And the only thing she ever said she regretted was saying half. And so, the point of the matter is that that we've got major challenges facing the country today, at home and abroad. And as I said in Virginia and said in Pennsylvania here tonight, is, this campaign is about restoring strong American leadership at home and abroad, getting this economy moving again, upholding our Constitution, holding the highest standards of integrity in the highest office in the land. And Donald Trump and I are going to keep focusing on that agenda to make America great again.
Frank Luntz is going to join us coming up later in the program tonight. He was with a group of undecided voters in Ohio. 24 of those undecided voters gave the debate to you, only 4 to Senator Kaine. The best line that he dialed from you last night was what you just said, and that is about the basket of deplorables and the 33,000 emails. Interestingly, the worst line, and we'll show this on our dials, the worst line was Tim Kaine, again bringing up Donald Trump's taxes, and I thought it was very effective. Are you saying, Senator, that you'd pay more than what the government and the law says you're supposed to pay? Who is going to pay more? If Hillary wants to pay more, I want to hear that. I want to see that she did that, because she once deducted her underwear, or at least Bill and Hillary deducted underwear on their tax returns.
I have to tell you, that was a remarkable moment. I don't think I ever got an answer from Senator Kaine, but I did say, do you take deductions? Because I take all of our deductions. Look, Donald Trump, obviously, the tax returns that came out in the last week show that 20 years ago, Donald Trump hit some hard times. Literally, he had enormous losses in his business, and yet he found a way, using the laws of this country, to brilliantly steer his way back from those operating losses to create a business that is worth billions today, that's employed tens of thousands of Americans. And that's the kind of comeback America needs today. Donald Trump is going to lead an American comeback, stronger America in the world, a growing economy here at home, one that's built on the foundation of upholding our Constitution, our most cherished ideals. And if I was able to communicate that to anyone looking in last night, I'm grateful for the privilege.
It's interesting, because after that he wrote The Art of the Comeback. And the New York Times, of all places, because they broke the story, they actually said that this is, one of the greatest comebacks. Here's where I see this election going. We're 34 days out. It seems that this is as big a choice election as I've seen in my lifetime, and I follow politics every day, as you know. But we're either going to raise taxes, or we're going to drop the top corporate rate to 15% and incentivize business to invest and build manufacturing centers and factories here. We're either going to be energy independent or put coal companies out of work, coal miners out of work. We're either going to put Supreme Court originalists or activists on the court. We're going to have a president that says radical Islam or not, a president that vets refugees, as our intelligence officials tell us to do, or not, because ISIS will infiltrate. We're either going to build a wall, protect our borders for national security and economic reasons, or not. We're either going to put education back to the states or not. There's a story today. 215 vets died, according to an IG report, because our VA failed them again, even still. This is as big a choice as I've seen. Do you think the American people are going to see that? Do you think they'll get sick of the robotic lines of Hillary and Kaine as this 34 days unfolds?
Well, it's my hope that the American people will see that this isn't an election between one leader that's going to take America this much farther up and another one that'll take it a little bit less than that. I say this all the time, and it's the reason why I joined this campaign in a heartbeat. This is a choice between whether we're going to continue to go downhill to a weaker America on the world stage, to a struggling American economy, walking farther and farther away from our constitutional principles, or whether we're going to stop, turn around, and march back up the hill to a stronger America on the world stage, a stronger military, an economy that is growing, and constitutional principles that are adhered to and respected. I think it's a choice between up and down. And I have to tell you, the crowds that I see, the enormous crowds that come out for Donald Trump at every rally, the hundreds of people that come out to our rallies today in Virginia and Pennsylvania, are all evidence that there are more and more Americans every single day seeing that choice clearly, and they're going to choose to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America.
Isn't one of the most important decisions any executive makes is the people that they hire and put around them? Didn't that come through loud and clear that he made a pretty good choice with Governor Pence, in as much as you won this debate, you won it on substance, you were never on defense, you weren't going to play their game, and you exposed their tactics. Do you see Trump appointing a lot of people like you if he's elected?
Well, number one, I'm very humbled by your esteem and your kind comments. But look, there's no question the way he's led in business is because he has the capacity to draw around him women and men of enormous caliber and enormous ability. I'm humbled to be a part of this team, but I'm just a part of a world-class team, and if we have the privilege of serving, I promise you it's going to be men and women of extraordinary ability, extraordinary intellect. Just like he led that incredible comeback in his business, he's going to lead a great American comeback for all of the American people, and Governor, I couldn't be more humbled or honored to be a part of it.
We better reverse this decline. We're in deep trouble. Anyway, good to see you, Governor. Great job last night. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Senator Kaine, 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, that's right. So now we're even.
Yeah, now we're even. Now, if you want to see who lost the debate, find out who's whining most about it. But last night's different. Pence clearly won despite moderator bias. Elaine Quijano lost control, which happens when you only corral one cat, and that one cat is more amped than Pete Townshend's Gibson. The debate turned into an airline counter after the flights are canceled. And there's that one guy, Johnny Eyebrows, mugging his elastic face to get the attention of the ticket agent. The debate was hard to follow. Abrupt right turns, left turns, heavy braking. It was like watching a squirrel take a driving test. Still, Pence rose above it like a tugboat among churn. He turned into a fifth animatronic head, destined for Mount Rushmore. Stony, but stoic. Pence looked like a president. Kaine looked like your band teacher. So oddly enough, the chaos actually helped Pence, for his reactions reflected truth lost in the chaos of 2016. Experience doesn't just mean establishment. It can also mean cool competence. Last, the debate contrasted two belief systems. If a Martian saw those two men last night, how could it not guess which one is conservative? It's the one who conserves, the calm leader, gently swatting away a caustic fly. And you got to admit, Pence has great eyesight. 2020. All right, Eric, what did you make of the debate overall in terms of, like, the moderator and the structure?
You know, I like the moderator. I thought she got a lot of topics in, a lot of substance, a lot of policy questions were asked. I know there was a lot of, there's a lot of analysis on how many times she asked. Pence a hard question versus Kaine. But what I liked about it was it showed who Tim Kaine was.
Right.
I had no idea. First of all, I pushed back a little bit when Donald Trump picked Mike Pence, and now I look at it and go, wow, what a brilliant pick that was, because those two sat there, they went mano a mano, which means hand to hand, not man to man, but mano a mano.
I just learned that now.
And Pence was measured, he was respectful, intelligent, confident, whereas Kaine, condescending, interrupting, coarse. He was abrasive, and I just thought of the American people, if you're sitting there wondering if the top of the ticket goes down for whatever reason, is incapacitated, which one of these two guys do you want? And there's no question, Pence trounced Kaine.
Kimberly, there was a lot of crosstalk, which never happens on cable news or on panel shows.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
I don't know either. What could she have done to improve that? It seemed like it went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, I think she could have controlled it, to be honest with you. Obviously, he had an agenda to interrupt as many times as possible, so he gets the gold medal for the most interruptions and, the quick time frame of the debate. But I think she had to, set those rules straight up from the beginning. Listen, I'm not going to tell you again. Please don't interrupt. Let's respect, I have both sides time to speak. Something to that effect, or I saw Megyn Kelly said she would have given the hand at the first. That's the signal, international sign for stop, and then try and take control from there. But, I think overall she did a good job. That wasn't so great, but it was more to the fault of Tim Kaine for not being professional and for interrupting all the time. He really just did himself a disservice. I mean, if Hillary wins the presidency, people are going to be praying, lighting candles. Hillary, stay healthy, because this guy just seemed to me to not be presidential. I liked him more before I listened to him in that debate last night, and I don't know if that was the advice that he was getting from the Clinton campaign, from, Robbie Mook, or what, because he seemed so, he won because he interrupted the most and he didn't let, Pence get his words out. Pence, to me, seemed calm, he seemed informed, he was prepared, he was presidential, and he thought, well, actually, very good pick by Donald Trump. And Dana, I heard you say something last night right after the debate, talking about a lot of people were thinking, is Pence going to run? Was he going to be at the top of the ticket? I mean, he really, I think, proved himself to be a good choice for those that were supporters of his to begin with, that would have liked to see him on a ticket at the top.
Yeah, I was saying that back before there were 17 candidates in 2015, and people mused for the couple years before the announcement of who was going to run, people on the conservative side would say, well, Mike Pence should definitely be in the mix of that. And then when he decided not to run as a presidential candidate, I think there was a lot of disappointment. I thought the debate was so rushed in the first 20 minutes. I was like, whoa, what in the world? And then it calmed down so much after that that I kept finding myself going, wait, what did they just say about Social Security? Because there was a lot more that could have been teased out from that. I do think she missed some opportunities for some follow-up questions, or they did for each other.
Right.
Especially on some of the things, like, for example, I think Mike Pence did an excellent job, but one of the things he did was totally dodge some of the questions and the points that Kaine was making, or that Quijano made about, well, what about when Donald Trump said X or Y, and he was like, oh, he just blew right past that. Great style points, but I do think that in some ways that was probably a little bit disconcerting for some people. But for conservatives watching it, Mike Pence was a champion last night.
Juan, I thought the problem was that Elaine Quijano kept sticking to a script.
Yes.
When the chaos, like they'd go in some different argument, and then she would go, no, we
have to talk about North
we have
Korea.
to talk about this. That didn't help. But also, I think Kaine didn't help her either.
Well, no, I think she was a weak moderator. I mean, I think that's what came through, is that she was trying to organize these people, and their goal was to talk.
Yeah.
So, but let's go to the big picture here, the day after. And the day after, what I hear from Republicans is, wow, what a relief. After that terrible week with Trump's disastrous debate performance, Miss Universe, the tax story, boy, Pence really held his own. We don't have any problem with what Mike Pence did. And we can even argue, because the polls show it, Frank Luntz's group, CNN Instant Poll, that what you get was Pence being the more likable candidate, his numbers, his favorability numbers inching up, while you saw Kaine's go down. The key, I think, Greg, is that Pence exceeded expectations in terms of his performance, and especially so for Republicans, some of whom say to me today, they even feel like, it's buyer's remorse. I think we hear a little bit around the table like, gee, maybe he should have been the candidate, right?
No.
Oh, yeah, I hear that.
I felt, when I saw Pence up there, I thought, that guy, he's president.
But like conservative.
Yeah, he's more conservative.
More conservative, possibly, maybe even more presidential.
Way more
but he's
presidential.
not going to bring out the type of crowds and the vote and the enthusiasm that Donald Trump does. I mean,
we don't know that.
And if you started with a Mike Pence in the field of 17, are you sure that Mike Pence is the last man standing in the field?
I don't have any.
And that's the rub.
Obviously not.
Universe.
But here's my point that struck me last night. I was watching the debate with Miss Dana Perino, and to my brain,
we had a blast.
I was thinking, hey, you know what? This guy, Pence, is throwing Trump under the bus time and time again. And so the prosecutorial mode that Tim Kaine employed, which is, hey, he called women dogs. He said that Mexicans are rapists. He said that Putin's a great guy. And Kaine kept coming back to this. And you never saw Mike Pence.
He never owned it.
Respond and defend Donald Trump.
But I think part of the reason was Kaine had piled them so many of them, and he was also so irritating. Yeah. He was just irritating, and his constant eye contact. I have to defend the moderator. When Pence would talk, Kaine would just look right at the moderator and go like this.
Didn't he wink at her when?
Yeah, it was like he was constantly deflecting her so that she had to go to him whenever.
She's an exceedingly nice person.
Yes.
And a gentle person.
Probably.
And she's a mom. And in some ways, maybe she could have said, "Oi, stop it."
Yeah.
What are you?
But
a squirt bottle at them.
Going in, she said she had nine topics, nine buckets that she wanted to get to, 90 minutes, with a 2-minute response from each. I'm looking at it going, that's very, very aggressive to be able to get that.
She wanted to do what Lester didn't do.
What Greg points out, that Tim Kaine never really answered what he was asked. He just took a shot and turned it to a Trump dig.
Do you think
instead
they should
of
have had the
answering
buzzer?
question.
Like in the primary
honestly,
debates?
I love that debate. I thought it was great. They both went at it. She didn't fact check. You know what? And I think for once, I thought that was great. Let the candidates duke it out. If someone says something they don't agree with or think is wrong, then point it out. I like that format.
So
better.
this is what bothered me. So I'm watching it, and because I now today understand that stylistically it was a huge win for Mike Pence, that he looked calm, he wasn't interrupting. But as I was watching, Eric, what I saw was that when the issue was brought up about Vladimir Putin, here's Mike Pence. That guy's a bully. Yeah. That guy's I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. That's not what Donald Trump says.
So what we talked about yesterday, is this debate about defending the boss, or is this debate to find out who these two guys are in the event the boss is incapacitated?
Well, when Mike Pence, when Tim Kaine says, Donald Trump says we're going to punish women who have abortions, he says, oh, no. And I'm thinking, but that's exactly what he said. Or when, in fact, Mike Pence himself said Vladimir Putin's a better leader than Barack Obama. You know what? Unbelievable. Mike Pence says, no, I didn't say it. I'm thinking to myself, where's the fact checker? What's going on here?
Well, the fact checker are the people sitting at home, like all of us, that can make a decision and be informed and say that was stated before or it wasn't. I mean, I think she tried to get through a long list of subjects. One of the criticisms of the presidential debate was that Lester Holt didn't get to enough. Like, wait, what about Obamacare? What about that? We brought up all these issues. What about choice? All of that didn't get through.
Which wasn't even a question from Lester Holt.
But also, can I just, we don't have time, I just want to go to the sound on tape, which is, it shows that Quijano asked a number of questions to Pence, but not that many to Kaine.
Governor, with all due respect, the question was about whether it seems fair to you that Mr. Trump said he brilliantly used the laws to pay as little tax as legally possible. So, Governor, how would these millions of undocumented immigrants leave? Would they be forcibly removed?
Elaine,
Governor, the question was about homegrown.
And so, but you asked the trustworthy question at the very beginning. The reason the American people don't trust Hillary Clinton is because they are looking at the pay-to-play politics that she operated with the Clinton Foundation through a private server while she's Secretary of State. Senator, we would know a lot more about it if Hillary Clinton would just turn over the 33,000 emails that she refused to turn over that were in her private server. We'd have a much better picture of what the Clinton Foundation was doing.
Senator Kaine.
So he brought up some very important topics, but she had to get back onto the thing, so she goes hard on Pence, soft on Kaine. That's what I saw.
Well, that was the general consensus. But, you know, she was trying to keep her composure. And I have to tell you, I'm so impressed with Mike Pence, the ability to stay focused, stayed on message. He was able to, he didn't get mired in all the specific, oh, Trump said this, and this, because then he'd be there all night trying to, like, go through the laundry list that he was saying. It was more about Kaine putting that hit in, that rapid fire. But he wasn't certainly defending Hillary Clinton. I didn't hear anything about
I think that's exactly what he did, and that's what
he hit Trump.
No, but I'm saying the instant poll today said that Kaine did a better job of defending Clinton
than Pence did of defending Trump. Because Pence didn't take the tack that I'm going to attack Hillary Clinton. He didn't attack Hillary.
I was talking about defending your candidate.
So it looks like Kaine did a better job defending the boss because he was never really pressed on some of the stuff that Hillary Clinton has been accused of. It was the other way. It was Kaine taking shots at Donald Trump at Mike Pence.
I thought you would have been delighted. I thought the reason you liked it was because what you saw was Mike Pence went at the email, he went at the deplorables comment, and I think Kaine did a good job of defending.
No, I don't think I think Mike Pence spent most of the time answering a quick question, answering the Trump attack question, and then turning.
Well, just a final word
here. He brilliantly, masterfully debated Tim Kaine and beat him.
My final word on this is: did anybody who was undecided come to a decision? According to the Wall Street Journal, according to the polls, no.
Well, according to CNN, that's incorrect.
No, according most undecided not swayed.
Their poll said that more people then were gravitating towards Trump. After that debate and listening to Kaine and Pence.
I'm talking right over you, just like they did.